What's going on, everyone? So December 15th is vastly approaching, and one of the targets that the Lakers are expected to heavily pursue is Jonas Valanciunas. Well, reports have came out that the Los Angeles Lakers are expected to push hard for Valanciunas come December 15th, right? That there have been, talks, just kind of touch base things, but they haven't really had the conversations because Jonas isn't available till the 15th. So why kind of waste the time trying to hash stuff out when things could change? There's so many variables. Let's talk about it when the day approaches. Now, look, I have said repeatedly, time and time again, still stand by it, that I think Valanciunas is probably the most likely center that the Lakers end up. A lot of talks about just Gabe Vincent in a second, maybe 2 seconds. Go get Valanciunas. You can bring him in. I know people aren't happy about the idea of trading for Valanciunas, but the thing is as long as you're not giving up something crazy, it still would have been the same result. The only difference is, you wouldn't have had to trade Gabe Vincent for him. You could have just signed him, so you still have Gabe Vincent for a potential other trade. But still, it's just because you would have had to give up second-round picks regardless, because you would have had to salary dump somebody anyway. So you may have even had to give up more second-round picks in order to go and bring in Valanciunas to sign him outright. The only argument that is kind of frustrating is you would have had Gabe Vincent and $11 million in salary to now go make that move for another impact piece, and you would have had Valanciunas throughout the thus far this season, where you could have kind of worked some stuff out, hashed some stuff out, and also potentially won some more games because you would have had a guy that go get you a double-double off the bench and make plays out of the post and do the things that we've seen Valanciunas be able to do for the Washington Wizards. Now, I do believe he, again, is the most likely scenario, right? If I had to, Tyler, which center would you bet the money on that ends up being a Laker? It's Valanciunas, just because I think, again, he's going to be the cheapest asset-wise, right? Just do a clean swap, right? It's $10 million. He's a veteran guy that come in. As a starter, I'm not a huge fan of him as a starting center, right? We saw even the Lakers were able to play him off the court and get him off the court. But as your backup, he's one of the better backups in the league, if not the best. I mean, talk about a guy that legit give you a double-double on a nightly basis, stretch the floor. He's not elite. He's not Karl Anthony Towns from three-point range, but he is a guy that can, stretch the floor, get hot, knock down the three. You have to respect it, right? Also, he's a guy that I really like the idea of having him as a settler, right? So we see all the time with the Lakers where just the offense isn't clicking. Guys can't hit shots. You just go on these droughts. It'd be nice to have a guy in Valanciunas that you could just put on the block, dump the ball down to him, and he could just go to work, right? You don't need to set him up, right? You don't have to lob it to him all the time, right? You can just dump it down to him and he can go to work, make plays. He can also pass out of the post, which gives you the flexibility on the offensive side as another threat where you can run kind of more that inside-out game, have movement, have slashers, have cutters, even slaughter alongside Anthony Davis, right? Now you have just the will and pass to AD. You can run that two-man game with the big fellas, right? You just don't have that luxury with, say a Daron Sharp and stuff. I would like a more athletic, versatile, defensive center. Kessler, Sharp, Nick Richards, something like that. But I don't hate the idea of Valanciunas, and especially as your backup. I think he fills the need, he fills the void, right? He's a guy that is big, can be physical, right? He's not the defensive piece that you need at the center position, but he also gives you the ability to play AD at the 4 more. And Anthony Davis is going to make up for a lot of just Valanciunas' lack of defense abilities. And Valanciunas isn't bad as the help defender. He's just bad on an island, which is why if you get Valanciunas, you need to get perimeter guys because that's where Valanciunas is going to look bad, right? When Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, and Rui Hachimura are just getting blown by every possession, Valanciunas having to be on an island, and that because he doesn't have the lateral quickness and stuff, right? I do have my concerns about him being, the lack of floor running for him. He's a guy that, he gets back, he, moves down the court, but he's not sprinting. He's not going to be one of the first people down the court. So there is that concern. But again, in a backup role, you're fine. You're looking for Valanciunas to come in and play 20 minutes a game. You're not looking for him to be this huge contributor. If he could give you 10 and 8 off the bench, that's more than anything that we have right now, unless D'Lo has a great game, right? You're not getting that production anywhere else. He helps with rebounding. He doesn't solve all the rebounding issues because a lot of the Lakers' lack of rebounding issues are long ball rebounds because teams are just taking more threes against the Lakers than anybody, right? Because we can't defend out on the perimeter where teams are just jacking up threes and they know, okay, all those rebounds are going to be long ball rebounds. It's just 50-50 balls. We can outrun, outjump, outpace D'Lo, Rui, and Austin Reeves. So again, it's just you get these compromised positions that the Lakers find themselves in. So you still need to solve the perimeter issue as a big need. But I don't hate Valanciunas as like that first initial trade, right? Like the Rui trade a couple seasons ago where we ended up trading for Rui to kind of fill a void, fill a hole that we had. And then we went and made the big swing at the trade deadline, right? Like I'm all for that. Like if you turn Gabe Vincent into Valanciunas and, we're able to pull it off that way, I would actually love to kind of stack guys if you can. And I'd even be okay giving up an extra second, right? So like instead of trading Gabe, right? Because the Wizards are tanking team, rebuilding team. They can waive contracts. It's not a big deal for them. Can you just save Gabe so that way you can pull off another trade later? And I might even dive into this more in like a separate video because this is kind of good. This just literally just popped in my head. But could you do something like, Christian Wood, Jalen Hood-Schifino, and Cam Reddish or Jackson Hayes, right? And basically get to the same position, get to the same boat, right? Because Christian Wood's making, 3.3, something like that. I guess you'd have to, maybe stack one more guy, right? Or, maybe you throw in, a Maxwell Lewis or something like that, right? Whatever. Basically do, a 3-for-1 swap, something like that. Maybe can you even clear an extra $1 million off the books? And then bring in, an Elfrid Payton or, a Markelle Fultz or something like that. And then my point is, can you get to the point? This is why I said I'll probably have to do it in a separate video because I'll probably have to better sit down and hash it out and make it work doing this off the top of my head. So could you potentially stack guys and unload rather than trading Gabe Vincent and his $11 million salary that can send out that you could use for another trade? And then that way, and then even if you have to give an extra second, right? Let's say it's Gabe in 1 second. Okay, if you have to give 2 seconds, rather do that. Open up a roster spot. Bring in a Fultz. Bring in, or an Elfrid Payton, right? Whatever you got to do. And then also go pull off another trade. But you might have to wait for the Valanciunas trade if that's the case, if you were to do something like that, because you have, I think you get, 2 weeks to fill out that spot, if you have an open roster spot. So maybe not. Maybe you'd still have time to do that. But point is, you'd have to do another trade rather quickly because you'd have, if you did a 3 or 4-for-1 swap, right, you'd have to fill out, so you get to 11, that'd be 12. You have to fill out 2 roster spots if you were to do that. So let's say you do an Elfrid Payton and then, bring in, maybe sign somebody to, bring in Koloko or Quincy, something like that. Right? There's options there. Like I said, it's just something that popped in my head. The point would be to save Gabe Vincent for that other trade, right? So Zach LaVine, right? Can you do D'Lo, Rui, and Gabe for Zach LaVine, and then you still get a Valanciunas, and then you still have Max Christie, Jared Vanderbilt, and pieces to go make that other move for a Dorian Finney-Smith or something like that. You could get Valanciunas, Dorian Finney-Smith, and a Zach LaVine, right? Solved your center position, solved your guard position, solved your center or your wing position. Not bad. Just kind of, like I said, just kind of a thought that popped in my head in the moment. But to get back on track with Valanciunas, right? He's a guy that, again, there's the pros and cons with him, but there's pros and cons with all of these centers. Pros and cons with Day'Ron Sharpe, pros and cons with Nick Richards, pros and cons, all these guys. I think in a backup role, what the Lakers are looking to fill as far as the need and the void goes, I think he's fine. I think he's perfect. I think he solves that. I would love if he was a better shot blocker, but like I said, as long as he's not stranded on an island, if you're funneling the offensive player to him, he can clean it up, right? We've seen him be able to clean it up. It's just if teams put it what the Lakers did, just put him in a bunch of action and basically make him have to move his feet. And if the Lakers can prevent that, then he'll be fine when he's out there on the basketball court. And I do think he'll be a bigger contributor. Plus, we just don't have anybody like him right now, right? You don't have that anybody, but a big fella in particular that can just do all the things that he can do, make plays, be a post man. Again, I really like the idea of having, like I mentioned, that settler. The guy, nothing's cooking, nothing's falling. Instead of just jacking up a bunch of shots, put Valanciunas in, get him on the block, Anthony Davis alongside LeBron James, or if you want LeBron rest, get some shooters around, and just let Valanciunas make the play. If they double and they trap, easy lob to AD, easy kick out to a connect or something. If they don't double and trap, he's cooking one-on-one all game, right? We've seen this guy get 30, right? Like, he's a guy that can, on any given night, go get you 20, whatever you need him to do, right? I really like the idea of Valanciunas in the spot. I think he's the most realistic. I think he's the most likely as far as, centers that are available that the Lakers can get. Just do it. Get that first initial move, and then that kind of gives you time, gets Laker fans excited, gets everyone just like, all right, we're back, baby. And then you can go make that other move, make that other trade. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Are you kind of mixed in the middle? Do you like Valanciunas? Do you think, no, Valanciunas isn't the answer, stay away from Valanciunas? Do you like the idea of kind of stacking guys to go get Valanciunas? Do you think, no, just keep it easy, keep it clean, Gabe Vincent for Jonas Valanciunas? How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are. Love to hear it. Either way, let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.